Headlines in East Africa now, and we're joined on the line by journalist and founder of Association of Grassroots Journalism Kenya, Dennis Beru. Dennis, good morning. Always great catching up with you. How's your Tuesday?
Thank you so much, Asanda. Unjani.
Nyapi lunjani wena.
Yeah, I'm well. I hope you are doing good in South Africa.
Absolutely, we are, and I hope you are doing well as well.
Yes.
Great stuff. Let's go to Uganda, where the opposition leader Bobi Wine is seeking presidency. 43-year-old, real name Robert Kyagulanyi. We had a lot of comments from this yesterday because we carried the story for the first time, and our viewers seem to be very, very glued onto developments there. He'll be running for the second time for this position. What are his prospects in a country ruled for about 40 years by the incumbent Yoweri Museveni?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sanda. Bobi Wine's decision to seek again the presidency of Uganda is not good news for the people of Uganda, or rather the people of East Africa. But he has been at the forefront of trying to fight for what he terms the freedom that the people of Uganda should be having. Remember, the current president Yoweri Museveni, who has been at the helm of the presidency for so many years. Bobi Wine term him as a dictator, and his time is up for the young generation to take over. And remember, this will be his second term or time running for presidency. Remember, he ran for presidency in 2021, but unfortunately, Bobi Wine didn't manage to win the presidency, and garnering around that 4% of the vote cast, that was equivalent to around 3 million votes against Yoweri Museveni's around 54% of the vote cast. That is approximately 5 million votes. Now the point is, how is he going now to bridge that gap during the last year's election? We are talking about 2 million votes, and remember, the chief or the command of the military in Uganda, that is Muhonzi, who is now the son to the president. The other day, he was mocking Bobi Wine, and but Bobi Wine says that the time is up for the young people of Uganda to stand up in their arms and vote the right people, especially the young people who will liberate them from poverty and things around freedom of democracy in Uganda.
Talking about wanting to garner support from a certain group of people, young people, as you say, he's also touched on the West, and he's criticized them or the region for not speaking out more against what he calls gross human rights violations in Uganda. Is this a case of lethargy on the part of the West, or a lack of awareness, do you think?
Yes, Sanda. You see, we know very well, or Bobi Wine know very well, that the West, that is the United States of America, should be at the forefront of trying to put pressure on Museveni to end forceful arrest and detention, because we've seen the longest opposition leader, that is Kizza Besigye, has been in detention for quite a number of months now, And the people of Uganda feel that, his rights is being violated, and in the eyes of the West, Africa Union, and other bodies. And Bobby Wine sees U.S. Is not taking any action in terms of trying to put pressure on Museveni, so that he can at least now minimize or stop the arrest, a forceful arrest, and arresting people, just putting them in jail without any charges against these individuals. And we've seen quite a number of the Ugandans being arrested, the activists. For example, the PA to Bobby Wine was arrested and is still in jail. Of course, Kizza Besigye is still in jail. Remember, Uganda is a close ally of the West, especially the United States of America, the current president, that is Donald Trump. And people feel that Donald Trump, you must act, you must say something about the human violation that is taking place in Uganda.
As you talk about Donald Trump, the U.S., let's move on to this story now so we can cover other areas that need to be covered. The United States has rejected an appeal by the United Nations to help fund the African Union's new peacekeeping mission in Somalia. What are the reasons given?
Of course, the funding or the rejection of the U.S. That is now the funds to the peacekeepers or the peacekeeping mission in Somalia. This is a major blow to African Union, and of course we have a number of countries that have their troops stationed in different parts of Somalia, who are now trying to make sure that Somalia is stable. And of course, it is a very big blow for this mission in Somalia, because remember, the United States has been at the forefront of trying to make sure that there is a stability, not only a political stability, but there is peace in the entire Horn of Africa. And the past regime, that is Joe Biden, has been really a big supporter of the AMISOM. And remember, the mandate of AMISOM came to an end, and now the mission, the new mission, going to United States, meeting the U.S. representative on foreign affairs and security issues, trying to tell them that we need money so that we can continue with our mission. Of course, there is a rejection.
So where can the UN now launch its appeal after this rejection? What will they do next?
Of course, they have appealed. I see whether their appeal might be listened to. But remember, they either like it or not, we must have a stability, or Somalia, which has been at war with a jihadist group, and the Al-Shabaab, that is now the Al-Shabaab wing, for so many years.
And I mean, at the end of the day, the African Union's efforts, and the the pursuit of, the peace negotiations in Somalia needs to be carried forward. So one remains to see what that is going to be like in terms of the new appeal that the UN could now make after this rejection. Let's go to Congo or Burundi, because Congolese refugees are arriving in Burundi, being driven by intensifying fighting. The UN's refugee agency, UNHCR, saying that this is the largest they've seen in terms of refugees from Congo coming in to Burundi. Where are they being told to live, as they are reportedly not allowed in certain areas?
Yes. Congo, Rwanda issue is a very interesting one, because I remember there are so many Congolese who are trying to flee the rebel-controlled region, that is the eastern part of DR Congo, that is Kivu, that is Goma and Bukavu. And of course, the huge number of refugees who are trying to seek refuge in the neighboring country, that is Burundi. They're now being dealt, with a lot of, hardship. There are no basic services. I remember in so many years, Burundi has never received, such number of people, refugees, trying to seek refuge in Burundi, and of course the conflict has been escalated. Remember, people thought of there is a sort of a ceasefire that was agreed a few weeks ago, but nothing is being done to ensure that people return back to their homes and continue their lives. And remember, Burundi is one of the poorest countries in the world, and not only in the world, Africa.
Yeah.
And they cannot accommodate such huge number of refugees. Remember, having 70,000 or over 70,000 refugees at the same time, it might be a big issue. And remember, most of these refugees who are trying to move from the said region that is being controlled by M23, and also the fighting that is ongoing with the Congolese army, they cannot afford basic services,
so
like
it is quite a dire
owning
situation
or
there.
paying. Of course, yes. And this is going to be a very big issue, because remember, there were some U.S. funding cuts by USAID, and USAID were really supporting some of the refugees intervention in these countries and in this region. So it is a major blow for the refugees, and some of them
we are
have started
completely out of
returning
time for
back
today,
home, and
Dennis.
others going to Bujumbura. Yeah.
We'll leave it there for now. Asante sana. We're completely out of time.
Thank you so much.
All right. Founder of Association of Grassroots Journalism Kenya, Dennis Beru there, giving us analysis on our East Africa rep. 32 minutes past 6 Central African time. Let's get news headlines from Jalani Tulo.